Hey guys, Taylor here, the Fit Expat, back with another video. It's my daughter Buffy. Say hi.
Hi.
Alright guys, so those of you that know me and know this channel know that I am a Canadian expat living here in Guangzhou, China. And this month marks 10 years for me here in Guangzhou. And it has been an amazing ride. Would not change any of it at all. Now, in this video, I'm going to talk about the things that I love the most about living here in China. Alright guys? So, before we do that though, be sure to hit the like button, help us grow the channel. I finally hit 1,000 subscribers this year. I'm gonna try to get to 2,000. We're trying to grow the channel, right? So, hit that like button for us, okay guys? And be sure to subscribe to the channel for some more videos on life in China and just fun videos in general. All right guys? So, let's get going here. All right, guys, so let's get into it. Remember, guys, these things that I'm about to say, this is just my opinion, the things that I really enjoy about living here in China. Okay, so maybe you might agree with me, maybe not. I don't know. It doesn't matter, right? This is just my opinion. All right, so let's get into it. No particular order, okay, guys? So number one, the number one thing that I really like about living here in Guangzhou, China is the social life. Yes, the social life. You might, if you're thinking about moving to China, you might be a little bit, nervous. You might be thinking, it might be difficult to meet people because of the language barrier. And that's just not the case. At least here in Guangzhou, in the big cities, there's a very large expat community. There's a lot of people from different countries. They're either teaching English or they're here for other reasons. And it's very easy to meet people. Of course, you'll meet a lot of Chinese people. I have got so many Chinese friends now that are just, some of my closest friends are Chinese people that I've met over the last 10 years. And I have met people from all walks of life, from so many different countries. I've got, friends from the US, from the UK, from South Africa, from Australia. I've met so many different people. And that's one of the things I really love about living here in Guangzhou is that you meet these people from all around the world. Now, the pub scene, the bar scene here in Guangzhou is quite good. I usually hang out at the same pubs. It's just the same two pubs. You got Pokemon there. Yeah, Buffy likes Pokemon. Buffy hangs out at the pubs sometimes with us on Saturdays or Sundays, and I usually hang out at the same ones. But there's a lot to choose from, and it's just one of my favorite things here is socializing. I love going to the bar on a Friday evening for happy hour or, for brunch on a Saturday, Sunday. I just love it. And, if you're willing to get out there and, socialize, you'll meet people. I mean, obviously if you're staying home and not going out, not doing anything, of course you're not going to meet people, but it is very easy to meet people. At least I think so. So that's just my opinion. My favorite thing, my number one thing about life here in China is the social life. All right, and number two, let's get into it. Number two is I guess you could say the drinking culture, or I guess the alcohol here. One of the things I really like about here in China, and not just China, but Asia in general, is totally different from where I'm from, which is Canada. We don't have this. You can go to the convenience store and just get an ice cold beer, okay? Walk right out onto the street and drink it, okay? There are no laws, like open container laws. You can drink a beer wherever you want. On the bus, walking down the street. I really enjoy that. I like that. You're going for a walk on a nice day, grab a cold beer, you can, drink it on the street. Love that. We can't do that in Canada. If you try to do that in Canada, you're gonna get into some trouble. You can't drink the beer on the street. That is one of the things that I love about living here in China is you can drink beer wherever you want. Number three is, of course I have to say it, is the food, okay? Now, I've always loved Chinese food. Growing up, we would order it as a family. We'd go to Chinese restaurants, for different occasions. And it's funny, I used to go, there's this one Chinese buffet in Canada. If you're from Ontario, Canada, you probably know it's called the Mandarin. I love it. Now, my friends in high school, at least my Chinese friends when I was in high school, used to say, that's not real Chinese food, that's not real, all that shit, which I've come to realize is true. It's westernized Chinese food, which I still love, by the way. I love westernized Chinese food, but you're right, it's not real Chinese food. In China's such a big place, and every region basically has they have their own regional cuisine, right? So it is so, I mean, Chinese food is so, I guess you could say, diverse. I have not even scratched the surface, but I do really enjoy Chinese food. Now, I live in Guangzhou, which is in the south, and you might have some China snobs might say, oh, in Guangzhou they only have Cantonese food. Cantonese food's so boring. That is just absolutely not true at all. Guangzhou, of course, you know, there's a lot of Cantonese food here. We are in the south, but Guangzhou has, you know, foods from all over China, okay? Like all the different regions in China, they've got restaurants for. And not just Chinese food, you know, in Guangzhou, we've got restaurants from food all over the world, okay? Whether it's American food, British food, you know, Middle Eastern, Indian, Korean, Japanese, Indonesian, you know, you name it, we've got it here in Guangzhou, which is great. Just the food options here are fantastic. That's just my opinion. And you know, you go to a city like Shanghai even, which is bigger, and you've got even more options. You know, even some of the Western food options, it's even better than in Canada. Like, okay, I'll give you an example. You know, White Castle burgers, okay? You know, the little sliders, they made the movie, Harold and Kumar go to White Castle. I had never tried it because we don't have White Castle in Canada, okay? And I had never been to a White Castle in the US. The first time I ever had White Castle was in Shanghai. Can you believe that? I don't know if it's still open, but they had White Castle in Shanghai. Just the food options here in China, I'm a big fan of it. I'm a big fan. If you know me, you know that, if you know me on this channel, you know that I love food. I love ice cold beer. And there's definitely no shortage of that here in China. So that's my next thing on the list is the food. All right, guys. So the next thing on my list, I have to say that it is one of my favorite things is the public transportation and just the transportation here in general. Things are so convenient here. Like the subway system is so, you know, it's so advanced. It's so convenient. I'm from Toronto, Canada, okay? If you've ever been to Toronto, if you've ever been on the subway, you know that the TTC in Toronto, it sucks, okay? I think we've got 2 subway lines or 3 subway lines. It's just pathetic. Compared to Guangzhou, it's just, I've lost track of how many subway lines, but I think there's like 21 different lines. It's just so easy to get around the city, so cheap. There's taxis everywhere. You know, they've got the public buses, this kind of thing. Getting around the city is very, very cheap and very, very easy. If you don't have a car, okay, like me, I live in downtown area. I don't have a car here, and I never will because there's no need for it. It's so easy to get around. Now, also traveling around the country or even out of the country, okay? They have high-speed rail, okay? You can go to any city in China or any big city in China is connected to the high-speed rail. It's very convenient, very easy to get around, very nice, relatively cheap, okay? Flight tickets as well, if you want to fly to different places around the country, they are quite cheap. There's a lot of different options. I would have to say it is very, very convenient to travel here, not just within the city, but around the country as well. One thing I don't like though is the Chinese airports, at least the one in Guangzhou. There's no bar. You can't get a draft beer. That's kind of annoying. But other than that, I think the traveling here is great and the transportation here is great. Next thing on my list, I would have to say, is the cost of living, just the general cost of living. Now, I live in Guangzhou. Guangzhou, one of the bigger cities, probably one of the more expensive places. Actually, I live in the most expensive area of Guangzhou, but my rent, I pay about 5,900 RMB for a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment. Okay, and I'm from Canada, so if you're also from Canada, that's about I want to say it's about a little under 1,200 Canadian dollars. Okay, that's for my rent. My bills altogether is about 1,000 RMB, about 200 Canadian dollars. That's including my phone, my internet, my gas, electrical, water, all this stuff. That's how much I pay for bills. So it's quite cheap, you know, compared to Canada. And just groceries, things like that, super, super cheap. The general cost of living here is really, really low compared to Canada, okay, where I'm from. So it's easier to save money here. And yeah, your money goes further, or at least, you know, it does for me. So that is one of the things I really like about living here is I'm able to save more money and I'm able to do more things. Okay, like I've got a trip coming up. I'm going to Europe this summer, visit my sister, you know, and I can afford to do this because I'm able to save money for this kind of thing because the cost of living here is quite low. So that's the next thing on my list, cost of living. All right, guys, and the last thing I'm gonna say in this video is, some people might think this is a bad thing, and I think the convenience of WeChat and Alipay. Now, what does that mean? We have an app, a messaging app. You've probably heard of it. If you know anything about China, it's called WeChat. Now, this app, it does everything. Okay, you use it to message people. You can use it to call people. You know, it's also social media. You can post things on your WeChat Moments. It's kind of like Facebook. You can use WeChat to translate things. Like if you cannot read Chinese, like me, I can take a picture of a sign or even an article in Chinese, okay, and WeChat will translate it for me. It's amazing, okay. And also we can use WeChat or also Alipay to pay for things, okay. So we can, you know, I work here in China, so I have a Chinese bank card, and you can connect it to your WeChat account or your Alipay account, and you can use it to pay. So I never carry around cash. You know, some people think this is not a good thing, but I don't know. I just think it's very convenient, and it's just make things easier. I basically pay for everything using WeChat and Alipay here in China. Now, cash, in the last 10 years, when I first came here, I was using cash for everything. But in the last 10 years, it's just cash has almost become obsolete here. If you're traveling here in China, or if you've ever been to China recently, you'll know this, okay? You gotta set up your WeChat wallet or Alipay. Or else some places you go, even some restaurants, they won't even accept cash. So like you need to pay with WeChat or Alipay. There's a lot more things nowadays that you just can't pay cash with. And I don't know, I just think it's convenient. Like I said, some people might not agree with me on this one, but I just think I use my phone for everything. That's just one thing I like about it. You don't have to worry about, you know, your wallet or anything like that. You know, some people might not like this, but that's just my opinion. So yeah, that's for me. The convenience of WeChat and Alipay. That is the last thing on my list. All right, guys, so that's it for the video today. These are just the things that I really like about living here in China. Of course, you know what? There's a lot of things. I could probably write a book about it. You know, I've been here for 10 years now. Wouldn't change a thing. I love it here. You know, like anywhere you live, there's going to be things that you don't like. I mean, of course, there's things here that I don't like, some things that might annoy me sometimes. But in general, life is quite good here. I really do enjoy it, really do love it. I've got a beautiful daughter here. I've got, you know, a whole life here now, a lot of friends. I've got a good job. You know, I really love it here. I can't complain. You know, some people, maybe if you've been here or if you've lived here, you might not agree with me. This is just how I feel. If you're thinking about moving to China for whatever reason, you know, it was one of the best decisions I ever made. And, you know, I recommend it to anybody. I don't know. Like I said, guys, just my opinion. I definitely think if you're not moving here, you should definitely come to China to visit, because it really is a fascinating country, really, to be honest. And it's just, I've been here for 10 years. I haven't even scratched the surface. Okay, I've been to Beijing, I've been to Shanghai, Shenzhen, I've been to the big cities, I've been to the Great Wall, all this stuff. But there's so much of the country that I have not seen yet, and I still would like to. But anyway, that's it for today's video, guys. Please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for some more videos on life in China. And I'm going to be trying to pump out some videos this year. I really want to grow the channel more, try to get to 2,000 subscribers. I'm going to be going to Europe this summer, to the UK to visit my sister, also to Germany. I plan on videoing it, vlogging some of that trip. So stay tuned for some more videos, guys. I really hope you enjoy this one. Until next time, this is Taylor, the Fit Expat. Have a great day.